What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great Monday. Oh, boy. It's been interesting to say the least, and we're going to say the least here. I'm going to go ahead and try to get my mind right. Last year, we killed the Dallas Cowboys and literally said we got no chance in hell. And somehow, this team actually overachieved last year. Went 12-5, won a playoff game, and fell short against the 49ers. We're back at the same spot here. We're killing the Cowboys. Let's recap what we've got so far. And the question is how much of Jerry Jones' speak do we believe? First, I don't know where it came from, but we had heard that the Cowboys were interested in adding more firepower to Dak. That was what we heard about a week or two ago. And that we were looking at really doing some great things. We heard that the Cowboys were going to be doing big things. Then we had Jerry Jones showing up at the Combine, who seemed to throw cold water on that and kind of back away from the Cowboys making a big move. I think the Cowboys' big move is going to be Odell Beckham Jr. I guess that's an improvement from where we were with our wide receiver core last year, but I don't know that that's a big move. And we've gone back through with Jerry Jones and revisionist history that would make you think that we never had any problems before Dak Prescott. That, had we just not had to pay Dak Prescott, we would be winning Super Bowls. That's literally the way he put it. And in the same breath, they talk about you can't add weapons. We talk about keeping Zeke. And, this is one of those hard ones for me. Because you love Zeke. You love his energy. You love that he's all in for the Cowboys and things. But you recognize as teams realize that players, you can't hold on to it forever. And what we do is we keep them too long to the point where they got flat tires. See, for example, Derrick Henry is $10.5 million this year, last year of his deal, right? Derrick Henry still has tread on the tires. But the Titans recognize we don't want to pay a whole bunch more money for Derrick Henry because it's going to be diminishing returns in the near future. But his value is still high enough that we can get something for him. So I don't know what kind of compensation he'll get. Maybe he'll get a second and another pick for him. But they won't have to pay all that money down the road. We go through and we get guys and we say, we can't live without. Now, maybe this one isn't the best example, but there's two different paths that we had with similar players. When we had DeMarcus Lawrence and his contract situation, New England had Trey Flowers. They took Trey Flowers and they let him go. He ended up signing a contract very similar to what DeMarcus Lawrence did for the Lions. That didn't pay off. His numbers, like D-Laws, went downhill. And you look at it and say, well, New England, they didn't have to take all of that cap money that they were paying for a player that was going downhill, and they got compensatory pick for him as compensation. The Eagles recognized that Carson Wentz was not the guy and fleeced the Colts for draft capital while they still had some kind of a value. And this is the difference of the Cowboys. We kind of did that with Amari Cooper, but we don't know how to negotiate. Because, see, the Titans let go A.J. Brown and get a number one. You can't honestly tell me that A.J. Brown is that much better than Amari Cooper. We get a fifth. They got a first. Their GM got fired for making that deal. But we still have those guys still in charge. Now, I had a guy who came through and, he defended the Joneses and said, you're full of crap because of the dead money. And as I said, basically the Cowboys have averaged about $15 million a year since 2017 in dead money. And he's like, well, there's other teams out there. Yes, there are. The Eagles have 54 this year because of the moves that they made, But I can't begrudge them because they understand that you may make a mistake, but we need to try and make up for it and move on and do something else. We keep making the same mistakes over and over again. We should have never paid Zeke Elliott the amount of money that he got paid. I honestly cannot think of a scenario, and maybe I'm wrong, that we've seen a running back get a second contract in the bag and that they've gone on to win the Super Bowl. Because there aren't any. Not in this day and age anymore. And yet, we're still holding on. We're talking about, we could restructure. Restructure means you're just moving the money further down the road. You need to redo that contract if that's the case. But we keep making the same mistakes over and over again. So where do we stand? At the moment, we have $27 million tied up in running backs. Donovan Wilson, one of the underrated safeties, is probably going to be gone. He's going to be a free agent. He'll probably sign a deal elsewhere. Maybe we'll get a compensatory pick for him. Leighton Vander Esch, who value showed up when he was hurt, he's going to be able to be a free agent because they're far apart with that deal. Terrence Steele, another guy who is injured, and the Cowboys, they love signing contracts to injured guys. They say we'll be ready for training camp, but I kind of have to look at their projections of players' health is they give you the best case scenario as opposed to reality. And they talk about wanting to bring back Tyron Smith. Another one who, when he's healthy, is one of the best in football, but is not healthy very often any longer. So, as Jerry Jones throws the quarterback under the bus and says he can't surround him with talent, and as we see teams out here that are jettisoning some talented guys, that we know that DeAndre Hopkins is being shopped around. We know that Jalen Ramsey is being shopped around. We know that there's a Bobby Wagner that's out there. And the Cowboys, they're going to tell you that you can't spend money. Well, the New Orleans Saints were in worse cap shape than we were. And they just signed a $150 million contract for a quarterback. So, don't believe that hype. We'll see what happens. Maybe all of this is smoke and mirrors, and maybe the Cowboys are trying to baffle us with bullshit and keep everybody guessing on what they're actually going to do. Tomorrow's a big day for a couple of people. Lamar Jackson sounds like he's going to be tagged. Daniel Jones, who, it's crazy. Here's what's crazy to me. Dak has one kind of subpar season where he broke his hand, and they kill him. Daniel Jones has 3 bad years and one where he finally made the playoffs, and they look at him and they think he's God. Can't understand it, but hey, that's the world we live in. Anyway, good people, I'm tired, and I got to go down and work on the red brick house tomorrow. See what we can get done down there. And let me say, like I always say, be sure to tell the people you love them. You might not get the chance again, guys and girls. And I love you. And we'll see what the Joneses have for us tomorrow. Peace.